Happy holidays, everybody, and Tony here with another Nicktoon Christmas special tribute. And this time we're gonna go down to Bikini Bottom to check out Christmas Who from Spongebob Squarepants, which first aired on Nickelodeon on December 6, 2000. This episode was directed by Walt Dorn, Paul Tibbitt, Chris Hedrick, Eric Wiese, Tom Yasumi, and Alan Smart, and it was also written by Walt Dorn and Paul Tibbitt, with Doug Lawrence as the co-writer. Now here's a bit of a disclaimer. I am not a major fan of SpongeBob SquarePants. That doesn't mean I don't like the show, and I'm sure that for those of you who have already heard that I'm not a fan of this particular show will end up disliking this video or even turning this video off. But please try to understand where I'm coming from. I enjoy SpongeBob SquarePants from time to time. I don't consider it the greatest Nicktoon of all time, nor do I consider it the worst. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It manages to leave me in a good mood when I see a very, very good episode. And I do have a lot of good episodes, with this one being included. And I also have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this particular show. On the one hand, I enjoy how clever, quotable, fun, and absolutely optimistic it can be, especially when it comes to the fan favorites. I also enjoyed a good amount of pre-movie SpongeBob episodes that still managed to be so close to my heart. Furthermore, I do consider SpongeBob to be Nickelodeon's answer to Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, considering how iconic he is not only to kids of today, but also kids of the yesteryears, and even a lot of kids at heart. I also found myself enjoying how optimistic and absolutely jovial SpongeBob was, to the point where his antics in the first few episodes, let alone the first few seasons, were quite a joy to watch. On the other hand, I am not a huge fan of how insanely long this series has been running, considering what has also happened to the show's creator, Steven Hillenburg, who unfortunately passed away 2 years ago. After the first SpongeBob movie, it seemed like there were times that the quality of the show did end up dipping, and there were times that there were a lot more mean-spirited episodes than the ones that actually left a smile on my face, which is kind of sad because looking at SpongeBob, there are those few nuggets of gold to be found. Even in spite of the Patrick's a Prick episodes, or even the Squidward torture porn episodes, or even a lot of moments of flanderization that SpongeBob has been suffering throughout the years, I can still kind of take it for what it is. It's a show that can be fun. It's a show that tends to leave me with a good mood from time to time, and it's something I can watch whenever I have a very bad day. So I will give credit to SpongeBob SquarePants for at least doing that for me and more. I even enjoy a lot of the other residents of Bikini Bottom, such as Sandy Cheeks, and her overall enthusiasm for life, as well as her love of science and her overall spunky girl nature. So, in all essence, SpongeBob does have a lot of colorful characters, even though I don't consider it to be the greatest Nicktoon of all time. But its heart is in the right place in certain episodes, even though there is a huge chunk of me that wished this particular Nicktoon ended already, because it's starting to rival The Simpsons and Family Guy for how stale some of the later episodes tend to be. But there are some nuggets of hope in which the other episodes of SpongeBob, especially the modern ones, are also continuing to show a lot of improvement, even after Steven Hillenburg's passing. Even when Steven Hillenburg was still alive and kicking, he also considered moving on from SpongeBob to other projects. And as I stated before, even though the show is still running, there is a part of me that will acknowledge SpongeBob for what it is. Fun and quite jolly in its own special way. And this particular Christmas special managed to bring in a lot of good vibes, joy, and happiness all the way through. And that is also why Christmas Who from SpongeBob SquarePants manages to find a very special place in my heart. It even says something that the Christmas special starts off with a more festive approach to the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song, with Painty the Pirate saying to the kids if they're all ready for Christmas. And the theme song proper is sung by a heavenly choir to add to that overall festive feeling. This is even intercepted with the Patchy and Polly segments. And of course, I do also have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Patchy the Pirate. It also helps that Tom Kenny performs as this really hilarious pirate. Now, on the one hand, Patchy the Pirate can be hilarious and fun, and he can be quite a joy to watch. But there are also times that I felt like his presence does tend to be kind of abused at worst, especially when it comes to certain specials that are used as viewer bait. I'm talking about Atlantis Squarepantis. Despite all that, Patchy's and Polly's presence, as well as their banter in this particular Christmas special, was not only fun, but absolutely hilarious, especially considering that Polly ends up eating all of Patchy's Christmas cookie dough, thus leaving the poor thing all full and bloated from that. Even Patchy states that this was the first Christmas that SpongeBob and the denizens of Bikini Bottom were celebrating. And going into the episode proper, just as SpongeBob is about to have a round of karate with Sandy, Sandy is organizing the Christmas tree to celebrate the coming of Santa Claus and the gifts to everyone present. And Sandy does her best to explain to SpongeBob the meaning of Christmas, or what the mainstream definition of Christmas is. Santa Claus comes into town to bring in a lot of goodies and a lot of toys for the good little boys and girls of the world, riding on his sleigh with his reindeer, and he brings a lot of Christmas joy. This also spurs SpongeBob on to spread the message of Christmas to all the denizens of Bikini Bottom, especially when it comes to the arrival of Santa. He becomes an unofficial messenger of Santa by shooting up all the messages in a bottle up to the surface so that Santa could collect them. He also decorates all of Bikini Bottom with festive cheer, especially when it comes to the tinsel and all the snow that's about to be used for Santa's arrival. And there's even a lovely song to help us, the viewers, be in that great holiday cheer. The very first Christmas. It's a very cute song that managed to juxtapose SpongeBob's, Patrick's, and the other denizens of Bikini Bottom's optimism, excitement, and ecstasy of Santa Claus coming over to deliver the goodies, all while Squidward acts like a total Scrooge and states that there is no such thing as Christmas. All of what they're doing is a complete folly and it's utter nonsense, and he feels like he has every right to be super skeptical. It also doesn't help matters that he doesn't even want to join in the Christmas cheer, and after a day of waiting for Santa, SpongeBob and all the denizens of Bikini Bottom start losing hope, and they believe that Santa is not coming. Even poor SpongeBob is so utterly depressed. I mean, watching this as a kid, I did feel for SpongeBob and just how utterly depressed he was. And I was so appalled at Squidward when he was making fun at SpongeBob's expense, all because SpongeBob's optimism of Santa Claus coming to town was rather blindsided, which in turn made Squidward making fun of SpongeBob a literal jackass. At least SpongeBob managed to give Squidward's gift because SpongeBob was encouraging Squidward to write a letter to Santa so that he could have his present. And the fact that SpongeBob committed to this kind gesture towards Squidward was not only heartwarming, but it made me kind of understand why I also enjoy SpongeBob, especially in his earlier season and especially of what he is as a character. Like I will always say, I am no hardcore fan of SpongeBob, but his optimism, his kindness, him being there for his friends, and his overall positivity just make me want to appreciate him for what he is and just root for him to also have his happy ending. And what he gave to Squidward was a wooden clarinet with his name inscribed on there. And when he pushes the button, there are mini Squidwards playing to the tune of the Sugar Plum Fairy's dance. This then spurs Squidward on to dress up as Santa Claus and give a lot of gifts to not only SpongeBob and bring him a lot of Christmas joy, thus reminding him that it's not necessarily Santa who is in charge of bringing this Christmas joy, but SpongeBob has done his part on instilling that great Christmas joy to everyone in Bikini Bottom. And Squidward, still disguised as Santa, does his very best to give the denizens of Bikini Bottom their gifts, even though they were mainly coming from his house. Sure, that good deed alone did make Squidward absolutely knackered, but at least it made me root for him and it made me really proud of him in terms of what he was able to do as a character and as a person, or shall I say, anthropomorphic squid. After that punishing moment, he even gets a nice little letter from Santa that has solidified his overall good deeds. And there's even a live action Santa riding all the way to Bikini Bottom, being as merry and jolly as he can be, but also being goofily eccentric, which I thought was an absolutely fun spin on Santa Claus. And I thought seeing Santa doing all of these weird and surreal gestures while making all these goofy faces was really cute and really funny all the way through, and it left me pleasantly happy, thus making the episode end on such a happy and joyous note. And of course, Patchy the Pirate manages to do his part and supplement with how joyous the ending of this particular Christmas special was. So whatever sentiments, tastes, and what have you I had with SpongeBob SquarePants aside, I could still say that Christmas Who was endearing, charming, fun, hilarious, and absolutely wonderful from beginning to end. The segments with Patchy the Pirate managed to be not at all distracting, and they supplement the story very well. The overall holiday cheer that I managed to receive with Christmas Who, and that song that SpongeBob and the denizens of Bikini Bottom sang was really, really fun all the way through. And SpongeBob's undying optimism and absolute lovability are what make this episode shine from beginning to end. I definitely recommend this to not only every fan of SpongeBob, but also anyone who loves a good animated comedy. And for those of you who had fond memories of Christmas Who from SpongeBob SquarePants, what did you think of it? Did you find Squidward's transformation from being a total Scrooge to being a lot more warm-hearted to be absolutely incredible? Did you feel that SpongeBob's optimism and sense of wonder and joy were what made this episode great as it was? Or did you feel like there was something that just stuck out to you like a sore thumb? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for my tribute to Christmas Who from SpongeBob SquarePants. Tune in much later for my tribute to The Fright Before Christmas from Danny Phantom. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!